Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you all. Alhamdulillah, all praises be to Allah. All of you are standing here because you believe in something. And because you recognize that this is a systemic problem, that this is an entire structure. And I want you to recognize how interconnected this all is. Around the country, you have people that are trying to maintain idols of white supremacy and Confederate memorials. They care more about stones dedicated to their racist ancestors than they care about actual black bodies that should be living. They care more about keeping hate raised and making sure that hate is not torn down. And if we can't begin to tear down hate, how can we raise love in this country? How can we actually bring people around any type of universal ideals if we cannot even agree that it is a crime that almost 1,000 people were shot by the people that are supposed to protect them last year? That almost 300 people have been murdered by the police in 2018. If there was a terrorist group in this country that killed almost 1,000 people a year, it would be on the news every day. It would be in our ears all the time. And if that terrorist group was saying Allahu Akbar, you better believe that we wouldn't be here. That we would all be in internment camps. And then people have the nerve to say it's just a few bad cops. Let's say it as it is. Police uniformly, disproportionately target communities of color. This is not a one-off. This is not an exception. Last night in the convention, I spoke about a woman who never even got a hashtag. Dr. Jamila Arshad, may Allah have mercy on her, who was a neurologist who used to intern here at Franklin Square Hospital, who was murdered by police in my city of New Orleans and got no justice. We're not going to allow for people to be turned into hashtags anymore. We're not going to allow for people to be demonized anymore. And if people are more concerned with making sure that there are no riots and that freeways are not blocked off and that people can't get into basketball games instead of young black men being systemically murdered in this country, then those people don't deserve to drive freely on a freeway. Those people don't deserve to go to a basketball game uninterrupted. Business should not be as usual, because when business is as usual, multiple people get murdered a day. So we don't want business as usual. We're not calling to violence. We're asking the police to stop being violent. And because we've asked for too long and demanded policy changes for too long to no avail whatsoever, then we will keep raising our voices and we will keep disrupting, because when we say no justice, no peace, that means that there is no peace without justice, and people don't deserve to go about business as usual in the name of calm, when Stefan's kids will never get to be in their father's arms again. When Jordan Edwards' father will never get to hug him again, even though he raised an outstanding son and did everything he was supposed to do as a father. But a terrorist, and yes, I'm calling him a terrorist. Roy Oliver was a terrorist. Came from Iraq, comes here as a military veteran, still thinks he's in the battlefield in Iraq. It's not enough to murder brown babies overseas. And puts a gun to Jordan Edwards' head and murders him. We're going to make sure that he doesn't get away with it. We're going to make sure that this doesn't continue to happen. And when we are told that we are the ones who are being disruptive, we will say that it's the ones that are in the uniforms that are being disruptive to our peace. And no, this isn't an indictment of all cops. No, it's not an indictment of all police officers. You can continue to try to shut down anti-police brutality work by calling it anti-police, but you're not going to police our voices when we say no. Stop killing our people. Stefan was one of ours. Jordan was one of ours. Jamila was one of ours. And you know what? That flag that flies half-staff right now, these flags do not usually fly half-staff when these black bodies are murdered, when these people are killed. Every single time an officer loses his life in the line of duty, there are rightfully so memorials, checks written by organizations, People come together and grieve for the community. Rightfully so. If an innocent man is killed, we stand with that innocent man. Rightfully so. But when these people are killed, Freddie Gray is killed, Stephon Clark is killed, Tamir Rice, hashtags don't pay bills, people.
That's right.
They don't get state memorials, they get state prosecution.
Yeah.
They get character assassinated.
Yeah.
They get people saying that they deserve to be killed because they had gold teeth or had tattoos or wore hoodies. That's what they get. So don't tell me there's an equity of pain. There is no equity of pain. And don't equate plights here. We will not allow for our brother to keep getting killed. Stephon is being murdered right now as we speak in the media. His family is being murdered right now with their reputation. We don't even allow them to have the peace of burying their loved one. And starting to try to move on in life with the new circumstances. Because they have to go to court and try to file suits. And usually to absolutely no avail. Watch videos over and over again of their loved ones being killed. They have to watch people talk about how their father was murdered because he deserved to